Hello, what's up, everyone? This is Mike Cackle, and welcome back to the podcast where I'm conceptualizing an MMORPG under the project codename of Cackle. As previously stated in my last podcast, in this MMO, I'm doing the daring task of removing character levels from the system design. Levels are a progression-based system that worked on paper and used to control content and difficulty. Now, in modern MMORPGs, I feel that the level design progression system has run its course. I feel that the design attempts of building MMOs have been suffering from the design standpoint of catering to a level-based system that, in the end, no player cares for. To me, it creates a linear grind of getting your character to full strength via a boring linear-provided path of progression that alleviates adventurous fun, one which contradicts human nature. Players do not wish to enjoy playing as a weaker player to continuously unlock new stuff. That's a gimmick, and it no longer works. Players' goal in an MMORPG today is to rush to this top as quickly as possible and the easiest way possible. So what is the point of all this low and mid-range content today? The answer is very little. On the development end, thousands and thousands of hours of content design get wasted. I feel it wears down the entire design team making these bland quests and storylines for any number of different races and classes that most players just want to race through and barely pay any attention to. Ask yourself, how many level 10 quests are in your memory banks of best times ever? A lot of this low-level content is simply not fun. And in my opinion, it definitely does not make for the adventure experience I feel that belongs in MMOs. It becomes what I call the bad grind. I say bad grind because I know for a fact now that there is good grinding experience. I've done it. Back in my days of playing Asheron's Call and other games in that time, I remember killing hundreds of thousands of Banderlings at the Banderling Tower. Like millions of Lugians have dropped at my feet, and tens of thousands of Revenants have been slaughtered with my fire arrows. And you know what? I'd go back to this same spots if I played that game again. And you know what? I indeed do this to prove if I was just getting older, or was it just how the game was portrayed in my mind? It was a first-time experience. I have no doubt now I was having fun again. That's when killing the monster was important, because you were killing that monster for a reason, not just because it was there in your path to the next level. I feel that the fun factor in games should not be after level 10, 50, or 100, whatever the level cap is, but in my opinion, always. Why is so much effort wasted in the progression of a character when everyone focuses on how fast they can get through this crap so that they are at their strongest and can compete? Why is there even PvP in level areas of, say, level 32 out of a level 50 game? Do people really stop and go, hey, I'm going to quit leveling here, guys, and run around and gank some level 35s for funsies. You want to join me? No, I'm pretty sure that's the last thing on their minds, and the first thing is reaching 33 as quickly as possible. The ones that do that shit are like level 50, right? Looking to grief the 35s. Gee, I wonder why. Next problem you find in today's MMOs are people standing in a town waiting to find others of their low-level status in order to complete a scenario. You know, it got so lonely, the created windows where you can ask others to join were invented, and even that was a pain that barely worked. Soon as the initial hype of the game launch has passed by, these issues start to become a serious problem because there's no player base playing these low levels. So now your low-level player base is angry, can't group. Now you have no people playing in your low-level content, and the ones that do can't. Gee, I wonder if that's why games today are so solo-based, because they just haven't figured out how to get the low-level players grouped. I'm pretty sure this is how free-to-play got invented, a business model to fill in a gap of a poorly designed system. Hey, I got an idea, Jeff, says one developer. Let's get more kids in here to fill this gap of emptiness in our worlds by offering it free to play to level 40. By then they'll be hooked for this endgame daily crap we feed them, and then they'll start paying. To me, that's not the answer. Devs were looking for cheap solutions to their problems. Back to grouping. I feel having to stand around and develop the right party is always a more fun task. A party should and will always be quickly available because in my game, that's what you are doing, preparing to adventure. Our goal is to create easy grouping, but the right party is where the challenge comes in. You will need well-rounded groups to finish the best areas, and without levels and without total faction segregation, you have the entire community at your fingertips in this game. Making a group does become a sort of a requirement, but it's not a serious task to worry about. There are places for this to take place, and not so much in a game interface window. This level-less design system being created should alleviate bland design and remove a majority of player exploitation from the game. It seems like when a new game is launched, everyone is trained at how to get to the top level in the game the fastest, to be the world's first. That's not a reason you should be playing an MMORPG. You should be playing to be having fun. Now, because in level games, people are looking for the fastest route, there are ways that are figured out that hurt the development side. Now you got the devs going, shit, we don't want level 50s in a week. And that's happening. How can we prevent that problem from happening? How can we remove that problem and stretch it out? What happens now is the fun is then patched out of the games to prevent and circumvent easy routes and exploit. That's another reason why games are currently so linear and boring. They have to follow a path to control unforeseen problems. Well, guess what? If there is no experience in the game, then there is no experience to exploit. Knowledge becomes experience. So, when we design, we will now replace in-game experience with knowledge and lore, which is what I believe every player wants to begin with. Being that expert of knowing this and that and controlling is indeed fun and comes with time. Now, with a no-level design, the core of the game itself grows over time. Just imagine the community evolves and becomes tighter and engaging. They're not separated into these meaningless players that have no effect in the world. And when new content comes out, new player or old, if you have the right knowledge, tools, and time, you can complete the challenges that await you. New players might have to struggle a little harder or find a better group, but it can be done. And with difficulty created for all types of players, casual and hardcore, I see no end to the limits. In short, the game comes down to playing the game and enjoying the game, not enjoying the exploits of it. Now, I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to make this a two-part video. I'm going to go into the next video, and I'm going to start talking about the pros and cons of a leveling system and my ideas behind that, as well as the pros and cons of a non-level design system, and then more so into the concept of what are we going to be doing when we're leveling. And we'll get that in the next video. If you want to debate this, definitely want your ideas and impressions of a non-level game. If it's possible to even create a non-level game, there's going to be hundreds of obstacles to tackle coming forward in the design. Obviously, it's going to make the skill combat a lot more difficult to make. Definitely going to put a lot of pressure on our itemization team, make sure we got the great science down there. And lots to do on that end. But what do you think about a character progression system versus a level-less system? What are your pros and cons? I'd like to see them before I put out the video, so leave that in the feedback if you could. Again, I am Mike. You've been watching a creation of my project codenamed Cackle. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Later. A non-level game, if it's a non-level game, if it's